Welcome to the Lions Share. I'm your host, Mitch Lyons. This is our Lions on Lions episode. And unfortunately, this is probably the most painful one to do all year. The Lions have effectively played themselves out of the playoffs. They've got a very slim chance. A lot of things would have to go their way, including them winning their last two games, which isn't all that likely the way they're playing. So they went into the game yesterday with the Pittsburgh Steelers, having a pretty good chance if they ran the table of making the playoffs. And it just didn't go their way, as has happened a number of times this season. They lose to the Steelers, another home game at Ford Field, taking it on the chin. It seems to be a recurring theme. Um, where to begin? Let's start, I guess, just with the first drive when they went for it on 4th and 3. They're down 3-0, and I didn't love the call, but that's Dan Campbell. He's going to go for it. And my only problem with it is our offensive line is horrible. It's been bad all year, and they'd gotten stuffed the previous 3 plays, and then we tried to run a little trick play to Amon-Ra. So we get stuffed. So that's but I didn't really have a problem with the call as much as just it's a microcosm of the season. We just have not converted on big plays, and I've said all along, NFL games come down to a few plays, and there's a fine line between winning and losing. And the Lions, just for the better part of the year, have not made those plays. And so you continue on in that first half. We're in the game. Got really frustrated with the lack of scheme or execution on having an edge rusher come out and blow up running plays from the backside. That was really frustrating to watch. And so that happened a number of times. Either the guard's not, he's pulling and he's not getting there, or we're just leaving him completely unblocked and he's just running the back down, blowing it up in the backfield. So that the lack of a run game was just really shocking. The fact that we made the Steelers run game look really good with our defense. They were, I think, 27th or 28th in the NFL in average rushing yards per game, and they go up and throw up over 200 yards rushing against our defense. Again, offensive line and porous defense has been the theme all year, and really, we couldn't get out of our own way. Had a chance. I mean, the Steelers kept giving us opportunity after opportunity with the Boswell missed field goal. Gave us what we thought would be a chance, and we did drive the ball right down the field. To our credit, a couple offensive pass interference. I know a lot of people are up in arms about that. Frankly, Amon-Ra's on the last play was obviously an offensive pass interference. And even if they hadn't called it, I mean, really, I know they would have counted the Goff touchdown on the lateral, but really, I mean, I don't know how they didn't blow the whistle on forward progress on Amon-Ra before that even happened. But the other one against Isaac Tesla, that's kind of a 50-50 call. I want it if it's going against me. I don't want it. I don't think it was egregious what he did. He was basically running a route. Yes, the play's designed for him to rub the defender off and get Amon-Ra open, which worked, but I didn't really feel like Isaac ran into the defender. I felt the defender ran into him as Isaac ran his route up inside and up the field. So tough call there, but I'm not going to say that lost the game. Tesla had a chance to win it on another play down there. He's made great catches all year when given the opportunity and just didn't come down with it. So, we lose, and here we go. We're pretty much out of the playoffs. So where do they go from here? I think there's no doubt that the Lions have got to fortify their offensive line. They've got to keep Jared Goff, more protected than they have all year. And, we have two really, really good running backs, and to not be able to muster a run game is just so disappointing. And you've got to have that. You've got to be able to establish run, especially with a guy with Jahmyr Gibbs' talent and his game-breaking ability, and to not be able to utilize him and open up some things in the passing game. By having the threat of a run. It's just very disappointing. And so, looking ahead to next year, I mean, you just saw the Bears come from a really bad franchise last season to now they're, fighting for the number 1 seed in the NFC. So can the Lions get this thing turned around next year? Yeah. Have they had a bunch of injuries? Yes. Do injuries happen? Yes. They've had an inordinate amount of them happen to them the last couple of years. And they may bleed into next season. I mean, Kirby Joseph, we still don't know the extent of his knee injury. Brian Branch, torn Achilles, that's going to probably work its way into training camp or even further for him to come back from that. So a lot of question marks out there going forward for this team. We've got the skill people on offense. I mean, that is not lacking. Obviously, losing Sam Laporte on offense hurt tremendously. Can't argue that. But we've got a lot of weapons. Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, Isaac Tesla. I think should be getting more time. I mean, I think he's just got to get on the field. I think kid makes plays. He has all season. Probably half his catches have been touchdowns, and the rest are first downs. He makes plays. You've got to find a way to incorporate him more into the offense. Now, there's only so many balls to go around. You've got, an all-pro receiver, probably one of the best in Amon-Ra, and Jameson is a big player too. So, and probably one of the top 3 backs in the NFL with Jahmyr Gibbs. So we have the weapons. We've got to fortify the offensive line. That's a given. Maybe Frank Ragnow comes back at center. Who knows? I don't know what's going to happen there. But they've got to do something. They've got to have more depth. They've had injuries in the offensive line, and they just have not been able to hold up under pressure. And defensively, man, you've got to get some push. You got to create pressure. Hutch, just too much talk and not enough results in my book. He's complaining about the offensive pass interference. Let's forget about worrying about that, Hutch, and let's worry about getting to the passer. That's kind of where I'm at on that whole thing. Love him in the commercials and all that stuff. Get to the passer. That's what you're paid to do. And yeah, you're going to get double teamed and stuff. So does every other top pass rusher in the league. But Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, we've got to get some guys that can get to the passer. And that's easier said than done. But maybe a package of trade, maybe a move up in the draft. Whatever we got to do, we got to get some guys that can create pressure on the opposing team's quarterback. Staying healthy would help, obviously. It's been a frustrating year because this team, as you look back, I sat at Levi Stadium 2 years ago in the NFC Championship game thinking we were going to the Super Bowl at halftime, and then that got ripped away from us in the second half. And at the time, I remember thinking, oh, man, they're young. They're going to bounce back. And they had a great year last year, and then they laid an egg in the playoffs. And it just goes to show you that you're not promised anything. So when you get that opportunity, you've got to make it count. And, I know people talk about the window, for the Lions, but the window's closing. I don't think it's necessarily closing. They need to do some things to improve to get those extra 4 or 5 plays a game that are the difference in the NFL. This team's good enough to compete with anybody. We've seen that, they've battled the Rams, who's one of the better teams in the league on the road. But they haven't been good enough to win those games. And again, that's the fine line. It's a missed block in the first quarter. Sometimes it's a end of the game type play, but they all add up. And this team could turn it around pretty quickly next year. I feel like they're going to get a 3rd, possibly a 4th place schedule. They play the Vikings this week, and lo and behold, look at the standings. If the Vikings beat us, we're actually in last place in the NFC North. They've already beaten us once at Ford Field. I had to endure that in person. So the fact that J.J. McCarthy, if he lays another L on us and then we have to go to Chicago when they're playing for the number 1 seed potentially, that's not going to bode well. We could literally have the 4th place schedule, which is good for next year's scheduling, but a lot of improvements that need to be happening. And so frustrating, as always, Lions fans. It's been a lot of years of pain and suffering. We thought we were close. This year kind of went upside down on us. So we're going to have to just hang in there, and hopefully Brad Holmes can swing some deals and get some help in there, and really just mostly in my mind, it's line play, both sides, offense and defense. It's not a sexy pick to take a lineman or a D lineman in the first round, but I think that's what they need to do. I think they also need to spend some of their free agency dollars on bolstering both those lines. So that's my take. So, hey, that's Mitch Lyons, Lions on Lions. As always, this episode brought to you by Mitch Lyons Wealth. Go to mitchlyonswealth.com for a bunch of free content. Check out our YouTube page at Mitch Lyons Wealth and the Lions Share. And hit subscribe and check us out and get all the updated videos. Thanks a lot. And Merry Christmas, everybody. A couple days away, and we get to watch the Lions again on Christmas Day. I was hoping it would have a little more meaning, but enjoy your time with your families, and God bless.